Okay, let's talk about the 5 steps. We'll just go over these briefly. Here's step one. Step one, we say, where are we now? So let's take a look at where we are right now. See the young lady on the left? She went shopping, she bought a few handbags. She lives in Beverly Hills, and she has everything that she wants, and her mother just gives her everything that she wants. What about the young lady on the right, the little girl that's in the bucket? I call her the bucket girl. You're probably familiar with her by now. She's in that situation. She's living like that. So, what's happening here? We have some people that have extremely easy lives that don't think about anybody else in the world. And then we have people that are totally neglected, abandoned by society, abandoned by humanity, and they're dying literally to the tune of 15,000 a day. So, of everything we look at, of all the things that we can get frustrated about, oh, our football team lost, the playoffs, or, you know, I, I can't afford to get my Mercedes until next year because I need to save money, or all the possible problems that can come up. We're looking at a life or death situation here, and we're looking at an extremely easy, solvable thing. We're looking at just giving a little bit of attention, a little bit of love, a little bit of concern to some people that are literally dying from our neglect. So that's the situation that's happening right now. That's the situation we're in. That's step one. Step one is being aware of the situation we're in. What's step two? How did we get here? So if most of us really understand how we got here, then it can help us with step two. Step two being, we got here because of money. We live in a money centered world. Power centered, yes. Money centered, especially. So money rules the day. And we need to understand that having money be the center of everything, it really creates an upside down situation. For example, we think about money when it comes to everything, don't we? We rarely think about how can we help each other, how can we be compassionate, how can we be respectful, how can we be kind. We're on our way to work, we're late for work, we don't want to lose our job, we've got a lot of things to do. So there's road rage. We're in a bad mood because we lost money, but now money anymore, especially when it comes to the digital currencies, money is just numbers in a computer. It's not tangible. You can't even, you're not even touching bills. And the bills were just paper and coins anyway. So money isn't real. But making lunch for somebody is. It is real. A doctor helping to save a life, that's real. Money does not create these things. Money is used as a way to exploit, as a way for people to make a living. But money is not used to do anything directly because you know what? We can do everything without money. Everything that we do every day, we can do. We don't require money to do that. But because we believe we need money, then we use money. Then we allow those that are shrewd with money, those that love money, those that can manipulate money, those that know how to control money and manipulate and exploit others, they use money to do that. Money is the linchpin that holds in place poverty because that's what poverty is. Poverty is lack of money, isn't it? But in fact, it doesn't need to be that at all. There's no direct connection between money and having food on the table. But this is one of the biggest blind spots in humanity. People don't see the fact that you don't need money to prepare a meal. You don't need money to go pick oranges or grow potatoes. Cash doesn't go into the ground. Potato seeds go into the ground, right? Somebody's cooking food for someone or they're taking care of someone. There's not a cash involved in that. We put cash in over on top of that and we say, I'm not going to do this unless you give me cash. But in fact, we can do it. Things can get done without money. Okay, so we're not ready to let go of money as trade. That's fine. But let's understand that we use money to manipulate, we use money to exploit, and those that are not in a position, those that are just as valuable human beings, if they don't have money, they don't count. And they die to the tune of 15,000 souls every single day. And these are children under the age of 5. So when we really take a look at money, we can see how the money system benefits those that are shrewd, those that are privileged, and it literally kills those that are not privileged, those that are not shrewd. Okay, let's look at number 3. What is the solution? See the heart, that means love. Now wait just a minute before you go crazy, before you say, oh, this is stupid. It's not. This is scientific. Love is the solution when we understand what love is. And almost everyone doesn't really understand what love is when we talk about having compassion for each other, when we talk about having respect for each other, when we talk about cooperating, communicating, being honest, being open, opening our hearts, and working with each other in a way that throws away all the power games, that throws away all the manipulation, and just looks at humans one-on-one. Now, love is not without accountability. Love is not gullible. Love values yourself. If you love others through trust, through compassion, through consideration, through kindness, you've got to do that to yourself. Love does not allow the evil, the confused, the sick to rule the earth. That's what's happening now. If you take a look at the condition of the earth, love stops that. Love works together. Love has self-respect, and love will conquer evil. That's an old story, isn't it? That's an obvious one. Okay, so number 3, the solution is love. And don't misunderstand that. Don't let your cynicism, don't let the fact that you haven't been taught about love all your life, don't lose the truth that love is valuable there. We know it is, but we've really been misled. Some people think dogma is love. Some people think that killing is. It's not. It's obviously not. And we should know better. Okay, that's number 3. That's the solution. Now let's look at number 4. Number 4 is how can we use love to make the transition from the situation that we're in now. Step 1, we saw that situation, to a better world. A world where we're not destroying the planet. A world where we're not killing each other. A world where we're not starving each other. Well, there's 2 pictures here. One on the left is kind of a professional photograph of a community center somewhere in the world. It's a community center. People can go there, work together. It's not an everybody community center. It's not centered on love. We don't know much about this one. But if we do have one that is centered on love, it's a place for nurturing and growing and working together. It's actually a place for education. How can we work together? How can we help each other? How can we cooperate? It's all about that. It's not about condemnation and dogma and punishment. Sure, there's accountability. Of course, we need accountability. We don't let people take advantage of us because we love ourselves. But we do work together in a community center. How many community centers have you seen that are based upon love? I've never seen any. I've seen places where you can play basketball. I've seen places where you can argue with the local administrators, the local politicians. I've seen places where you can have a meeting, and I've seen places where people don't get along very well, but they're not love-centered. This picture on the right is kind of a cartoon. It's kind of silly, but it shows kind of a picture. You know, we're all children inside, right? So we can see that, wait, there's a dream there, isn't there? There's a dream where we can actually work together. Doesn't happen overnight. It happens step by step. Let's look at number 5. How do we implement the solution? This solution of the community center, this solution of working together in community, this idea of being love-centered in our lives as opposed to being money-centered, power-centered, fear-centered, because that's what's been going on, hasn't it? Well, it's accomplished just like any other great accomplishments. Look at the first picture of this SpaceX rocket taking off. Huge accomplishment, major accomplishment. Next one, someone running a marathon. A lot of hard work, a lot of training, a lot of focus. But they do it and they win the marathon. Top right, young man graduating from university. He didn't do that by ignoring what the goal was. He focused on the goal. He knew it was important. It was his priority. It's what he needed to do. And he worked on it every day and he studied. And he passed those tests. And he got his degree. So the bottom line, how does step 5 work? How do we implement this idea of love and community centers to take us to more of a love-centered, compassion-centered world as opposed to a cold, heartless, money-centered world where we allow 15,000 children to die needlessly but through our own neglect every day? How do we make that transition? We work together. And the people that are leaders, the people that feel this in their hearts, they step up. They take responsibility and they do what they can. And then we have leadership. And then we have so many people that are followers that don't think things through too carefully. They're not sure. This isn't really their area. But heck, if this is the way we're going, it sounds good. It feels good. Because every single human being, they have compassion in their hearts. They have love in their hearts. We're born with that. So it just takes a little bit of initiative. It takes a little bit of focus. It takes a little commitment. It takes some dedication. Like all these other great things that happen. And those are the 5 steps.